For years, the fitness industry sold men a fantasy. Rows of chrome machines, endless isolation work, bigger mirrors, bigger pumps. But underneath all that polished steel was one brutal reality most lifters never question. What happens when strength actually has to do something? Not posing, not pressing on a bench, not moving weight on rails, real strength. The kind that lets you carry, move, stabilize, and explode under awkward pressure. And for decades, some of the world's most effective strength systems weren't built around machines at all. Soviet coaches, military operators, and old-school physical cultures kept returning to one brutally simple tool, the kettlebell. A cannonball with a handle. Primitive? Maybe. But when tested against conventional gym training, it exposed a hard truth most people don't want to hear. You don't need 50 exercises. You need a handful of movements that train your body like an integrated weapon instead of disconnected parts. Because muscles in isolation look impressive. But coordinated force is what actually makes you dangerous. And these 5 kettlebell exercises do exactly that. The first one? It may be the single most complete movement ever created, the Turkish get-up. This isn't just an exercise, it's a full-body diagnostic system. Shoulder stability, core control, hip mobility, coordination, balance, structural integrity. Everything gets tested. That's why elite tactical communities have used loaded get-ups for years. Not because they look cool, but because they immediately reveal weaknesses no machine can hide. Lie flat. One arm locked overhead, same side knee bent, drive up to your elbow, then hand. Bridge the hips, sweep the leg, stand. Sounds simple, until you realize every inch of that movement demands total body precision. Your shoulder must stabilize under load, your spine must stay organized, your core has to resist collapse, your hips need mobility and power simultaneously. Rush it and the movement punishes you. Master it, and your body starts functioning like a connected system instead of separate muscles. Most gym programs train pieces. The get-up trains the whole machine. And that distinction changes everything. Because once your body learns to move as one coordinated unit, strength stops being cosmetic. It becomes usable. And the next exercise builds that principle even further by attacking one of the most fundamental human patterns modern training has nearly destroyed. The squat. Squatting should be one of the most natural things your body does. Humans have been dropping into deep positions for thousands of years, working, resting, carrying, fighting. But modern training often turned that primal movement into something overly engineered. Heavy bars, compressed spines, forward collapse, mobility restrictions. And somewhere along the way, people forgot the goal wasn't just moving weight. It was building functional lower body strength that transfers. That's where the goblet squat separates itself. Holding a kettlebell at chest level instantly changes your mechanics. Your torso stays upright, your core engages harder, your hips open naturally, your knees track better, your spine stays safer. Instead of forcing your body into compensation, the goblet squat teaches proper movement from the ground up. Hold the bell tight at your chest. Keep elbows tucked. Feet just outside shoulder width. Sit down between your hips, not backward, down. This subtle difference matters. Because now your legs, glutes, trunk, and upper back all work together. You're not just building quads, you're reinforcing posture, mobility, and force production simultaneously. It's strength with structure. And for most people, that's far more valuable than simply chasing heavier numbers on a barbell. But here's where things get even more interesting. Most gym exercises still move in predictable straight lines. Up, down, forward, back. Life doesn't. Real-world force is rotational, diagonal, unstable. Think about throwing, pulling, wrestling, climbing. Your body rarely operates like a machine. So why train like one? That's why the kettlebell crossbody row is so powerful. Instead of rowing straight upward, you pull from one side of the body across toward the opposite hip. Now your lats, rhomboids, rear delts, and grip still work. But your obliques, deep core, and anti-rotational stabilizers light up too. Suddenly your back isn't just stronger, it's functional. You're teaching your body to produce and resist rotational force at the same time. That means better athleticism, better resilience, better carryover to sports, combat, and real-world movement. Straight-line gym strength has limits. Integrated strength doesn't. And this is where kettlebells continue to dominate. They force your body to stabilize, coordinate, and produce force naturally, not artificially. But even these first 3 exercises are only laying the groundwork. Because the next movement may be the purest expression of explosive full-body power ever developed with a single tool. If there's one kettlebell movement that separates casual lifters from truly conditioned athletes, it's the snatch. This isn't about grinding, This is about violent efficiency. One explosive hip drive sends the kettlebell from between your legs to a locked-out overhead position in one seamless motion. No pause, no wasted movement, no room for weakness. And historically, this wasn't random. Soviet performance systems used kettlebell snatching because it measured something most gym lifts couldn't: real physical preparedness. Power, endurance, grip, coordination, mental durability. All at once. The bell starts low. You hinge hard, explode through the hips, guide the kettlebell upward, punch through at the top. Done correctly, it feels fluid. Done poorly, it feels like your forearm got hit with a baseball bat. That's why technique matters. Your arm doesn't lift the bell. Your hips launch it. That distinction is everything. Once mastered, the snatch becomes one of the most efficient total body conditioning tools ever created. Posterior chain, shoulders, core, cardio, grip. Few movements challenge so many systems simultaneously, but underneath the snatch lies an even more foundational pattern. The movement that powers nearly every explosive athletic action, the hinge. And no kettlebell exercise teaches that better than the swing. This is where real strength begins, not with isolated contractions, with force transfer. The swing looks simple, which is exactly why most people underestimate it. Hike the bell back aggressively, snap the hips forward, stand tall. Your arms are hooks. Your hips are the engine, that's it. But this deceptively simple movement builds explosive glute power, hamstring strength, lower back resilience, grip endurance, cardiovascular output, all while reinforcing one of the most important movement patterns in human performance. The hip hinge is what powers sprinting, jumping, lifting, fighting, carrying, and the kettlebell swing sharpens it relentlessly. Studies and performance testing repeatedly showed that high-volume swing work could improve both strength and conditioning faster than many conventional split routines. Why? Because it trains the body the way it was designed to function, as one integrated unit, not separate pieces. And once you understand that, the entire philosophy behind kettlebell training becomes clear. These 5 exercises aren't random. They're a system, a blueprint for building a body that doesn't just look stronger, but actually is. Because when movement becomes the priority, everything changes. Your strength, your durability, your conditioning. And most people never realize how much power they've been leaving unused until they start training like this. What makes these 5 movements so effective isn't variety, it's coverage. The get-up teaches control, the goblet squat restores structure, the crossbody row develops rotational strength, the snatch builds explosive endurance, the swing ingrains raw hip power. Together, they replace dozens of disconnected exercises with a system built around actual human performance. That's why kettlebell training has survived soldiers, fighters, laborers, and performance coaches across generations. Not because it's trendy, because it works. While most programs chase appearance, kettlebells develop capability. And capability always outlasts aesthetics. You don't need endless machines. You don't need overly complicated programming. You don't need a gym designed to isolate every muscle. You need movements that teach your body to function under load, to move powerfully, to stabilize naturally, to generate force in ways that matter. Because real strength was never about looking powerful. It was always about becoming the kind of human body that can handle anything life puts in front of it.